Hello, explorers on the interwebs, smash sport lovers. Welcome back to season 2 of Banter with the Boys, with me, your host, comedian, and esteemed athlete, Nik Rabinowitz. Today is Friday, the 5th of July, which means it's 6 days since the Proteas broke our hearts in the T20 World Cup final against India, or to put it another way, it's 32 years, 3 months, and 13 days that the Proteas have been breaking our hearts in World Cups. That's 11,776 days of broken hearts, or 16,957,440 minutes. But who's counting? What was actually great about the game on Saturday is that it introduced a whole new generation to the experience and trauma of being Proteas supporters. Star batsman David Miller's dismissal will, of course, no doubt haunt us for generations to come. Surya Kumar, I call him Cinderella because he also got to the ball on time. His catch reminded me of the time a Peruvian masseuse crossed the boundary to touch one of my balls. But in his defense, like the third umpire in Barbados, he too was also blind. The turning point, of course, came after Heinrich Klaassen had blasted his way to 50 of 21 balls, leaving South Africa a meagre target of just 26 of 24 balls. Rishabh Pant then went down with a mysterious knee injury which broke the momentum, and once again the Proteas were caught with Pant down and De Kock already out. And then Klaassen nicked behind, and after that we were arse deep in trouble. And the last over started with us trying not to choke on Hardik. Hashtag Huak Tua. All in all, a tough nut to swallow. Meanwhile, Euro 24 is in the knockout stages. Tomorrow night, England plays Switzerland. Of course, when it comes to the Euros, England are basically the training bra of European football. The support is pointless because they have no cups. In tennis, it's the opening week of Wimbledon, when the best players in the world do a Joe van Niekerk and switch to grass. And now, this week's big story is obviously the massive first test between the best team in the world and the team that the Irish think is the best team in the world. Tomorrow, at Loftus Versfeld, the Boks take on the Irish. Pundits are saying the Springboks have one more point to prove. Well, if there's something the Boks know how to do, it's score one extra point. Sia is back as captain, even though the owner of his French club has called him fat and transparent. So not so much Sia, more like see-through-ya. I'm not sure how you can be both fat and transparent. It's a bit like, how can you be the best team in the world and also never win a World Cup quarter-final? The Boks, of course, haven't beaten Ireland since 2016, but then again, the Boks also haven't not won a World Cup since 2019. The Irish have said they don't want to focus on the fact they're playing at altitude. Bad news for them is that Loftus is higher than Herschel Gibbs on captain's optional training day. Damien Dialenda says the Irish should expect a war. There will be blood, teeth, carnage, and that's just the Loftus parking lot. Ireland have also warned South African crowds not to sing the song Zombie and change the lyrics to Rasi. This is sure to be an effective strategy because there's nothing that South African crowds like more than being told what to do by the Irish. The Irish have also requested Rassie to clear it with them before bringing on the bomb squad, and have asked for Ox to be a little gentler in the front row. We'll be right back with our panel, followed by today's guest, the renowned monster of Munster. He's not actually called that, but I think he should be. Don't scroll away. We'll be right back. First up to my right, held entirely together by metal pins and caution tape. No, it's not the South African government. It's Springbok legend and Paul Gum first team, Jean de Villiers. Yay, give yourself a clap.
Thank you, I did. I'll clap you next time.
Jean, I have to say, I missed you.
I missed you too.
I didn't know what you were up to. I went to look on your Instagram page to see what you've been up to in the last while, and it's just brand sponsorships and partnerships and deals. Which brand would you turn?
I would never sell our friendship.
That's what I wanted to hear. To my left, we have 6-time recipient of an international yellow card and record holder of the most appearances and tries by Springbok flanker, South Africa's second favourite Schalk, former blonde bombshell, Schalk Burger Jr.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And thank you for having us on your beautiful family farm, Velbedacht. And I actually noticed as I was driving in, it says Schalk Burger and Son. But you're not really that involved.
No, I'm not really that involved. Yeah, like I got the sons bit, but this is my old man's pipe dream, this, and then obviously the whole family's on our family business, so it's good to be back. Had a cup of coffee. You guys joined around the little...
It was lovely to see your dad. He was actually making less grumpy than the last time I saw him here.
Why was he grumpy? He's normally grumpy. It was early in the morning. Give him a couple of hours. We'll hear him bark as he comes around in his big truck.
This is not one of the sons.
Family dog.
Yeah.
It's one of them. There's lots of, this is Aster, but there's a lot of them. They've also got quite a little high turnover rate of dogs here. They come and they leave quite quickly, predominantly because of wild boars. They've got big wild boars that come down.
It was so. I didn't think before that we would get him on cue to actually introduce himself. And the other one, obviously, they do like each other. I'm quite interested to see what can happen from here. Okay, you can go now.
Jean, we mentioned sponsorships, but Schalk, in your dad's day, is it true the Springboks in the early 80s were actually sponsored by milk? How do you feel about not going into farming? Like, my dad was a potter, and people thought I would go into potting. And then I actually retired at the age of 8 after poor ashtray sales at the potter's market. Do you have any shame about not going into farming?
No, not really. Like, we obviously grew up here, and it looked a bit different when we spent our time here, but like a lot of first happened here. I rolled my first bucky on the cricket field just below here. My first motorbike accident happened in the vineyard across there. We ramped that damn well in a jet ski once. So we had a lot of fun growing up here. And then I think they were quite relieved to see the back of me when I decided to go play a bit of rugby. And then I gallivanted around playing rugby for 16 or 17 years. And then when I eventually came back here, there was no space for me. So I didn't really have a choice to walk back in here. The house was taken by my boot. My sister works here. The in-laws all moved in. So, yeah, I can't really say there's a space for me now. But, I'm quite relieved not being part of the family business.
Well, talking of rugby, there is the small matter of an upcoming test series against the Emerald Islanders. And it wouldn't be a banter with the boys without you, the fans in the stands. So our only question is, can Lace tie up the loose ends? Over to you, Lace. Lace.
I've actually never heard that one before. We're here at Pirates for fans in the stands. We're going to get some high-felt opinions on the upcoming Island Series. What are your predictions for the first match of the Island Series next weekend?
Well, I think we should beat them by 10 points at least.
I think that we'll beat Ireland in Pretoria, but I think that we may battle down in Durban.
A lot of nerves. I'm quite excited. I think the environment around the country also quite excited off the back of a double win, 2 World Cups. So yeah, quite keen and excited.
Loftus, high altitude, but Andy Farrell, you got some stuff coming towards your side, boy.
So I think it's going to be SA by 7 or 8.
Well, I think Rusty's got a game plan. And the Irish have got a few injuries. A few of their guys are injured.
What does Snooki think is going to happen? Definitely here, very strong.
She thinks number 4 will be the best player on the field.
Of course.
I think it's going to be a close one. I think the Irish are coming here with big intentions. They're coming here with a proper squad. It's going to be fun for sure, but I think the depth you see in the box at the moment, I see the box going 2-0.
Who's the youngster who's just come up into the Springboks that you're most excited about?
Sasha Feinberg, Ngomos Zulu. My boy, you got it. Bishop's boy, we were there.
I also love him. What went through your head when he stepped up to take that kick from behind the halfway line last week?
I thought it was a huge kick, and I didn't think he's going to have the length. And then he kicked it so far across, he could have stepped back even a few more steps. So it was fantastic. And the depth that South Africa, the Springboks has, it's phenomenal.
I didn't even think he was going to take the kick. I thought they were going to play for the line, go for touch, play for maul. And all of a sudden I heard in his post-match interview, he said that Peter Steff told him to slant him. So I just went for balls and I was just good. It was lekker.
Our first guest, ladies and gentlemen, on season 2 of Banter with the Boys is the world's first Afrikaans-speaking international ambassador for the Irish town of Limerick.
I used to live in Limerick.
He's also on the phone right now. But I thought it would be only fitting to introduce him with a Limerick, Jean de Villiers.
Yes.
So here we go. To Ireland did our CJ go, to gooi a ball to and fro. He set out to make not a single mistake, and now, hy Netling sisters his vrou. Please welcome 51-time Irish and 1-time British Lions international, Georgia's first honorary Irishman, Christian Johan.
Hello, guys.
Hello, CJ.
How was it? You all right? Okay.
Like I
I
said,
was on the phone. I missed the first part. It sounded
that's
right.
fine, we did.
A little Limerick for you, but we'll do another one. We'll do another one later. CJ, to kick things off, is it true that as a young boy growing up in George, going to, was it Blanco Primair?
Yes.
Was it net Blancos in those games, or was it first 1990? I think it was.
That was. I was still playing with that leather ball. So John Schalk would know the leather ball. I was later on we started playing with the Gilbert, So.
But you did say it was a birthday wish when you were a little kid to play in one day play in the international rugby in a green jersey. But you didn't qualify what shade of green, did you?
I know. No, I thought I took that off Google.
But you're back. You've gone from George to Limerick, being an Irish international, and you're back here in Paarl, just down the road.
Do you know why he lives in Paarl now?
Why?
Can I tell you why?
Because he wanted his number plate to say CJ.
Stanzo. Yes. CJ.
I don't want to spend the 2,000 rand, so it's easy. 3 number plates with my name on it. It's perfect.
No, you didn't speak any English when you originally moved to Ireland. Do your family consider it treasonous, the amount of English you know? As treasonous as one of Paul's famous thing on my sack.
You see how confused he is? Just explain treason.
I remember my dad, my brother almost didn't finish primary school because my dad said to him one day that, jokingly, that you don't have to go to class where there's English being spoken. And one of his teachers were fully English. So he was sitting underneath the table playing with, rocks or something. And they called my dad in after like 2 years and said, look, your son is not going to make it. He's literally he's not going to go to high school. And my dad said, why? He said, no, you told him. He said, yeah, I was joking. I never said I can't even speak the language. I would never say that. So it's not treason, but it was frowned upon.
But when you arrived in Ireland for the first time, was it 2012? You arrived in Munster. Now, legend has it that you really didn't have much English, and that you on the first week you were there, you got blind drunk, and you ended up lost, and they had to find a guide dog. You were so blind drunk, your friend found a guide dog to lead you home. Is this true?
Yeah, that's actually a better story. I'm going to put that in one of my in my book one day. It's a better story. Well, we were in Cork, and obviously my English wasn't good, but the accent changes from every. You can ask John, not even every street almost, So we were at a team function, and we were in this nice place, and I went down for some food. Tried to come back in. The bouncer said, sorry, buddy, where are you going? Obviously in a different accent. And I said, upstairs to Munster. That's what I said. And then it's like, there's still a way you play for Munster. Press off. Anyway, someone threw me in a cab, and all I can get out was, I need to go to the blind dogs. And the guy driving the car was also not from Ireland. He was I think he was from Pakistan or somewhere. He was like, blind dogs? So we were driving around Cork for, I said,
why did you say that?
Because there was actually the guys that I was staying with, their house was next to or close to the guide dogs of Ireland.
Blind dog.
And we got there. It took us an hour and a half and 45 years, but we got there. Google Translate.
But also difficult to understand the Irish in Cork. Did you ever think, fuck, my English is better?
We went down to Dingle one year, and Dingle is way, way, way down. It's very west. It's beautiful. The closest place to South Africa in Ireland, and it's a lovely place there, but I realized there my English is very good. 10 out of 10. We didn't understand a word. The people I was with, the only thing we got was Guinness all the time, just Guinness. I wasn't asking for Guinness, I just kept on getting it. But it was a great experience.
But even when I went to Munster, so first week arrived there, and the amazing thing of Munster back then was, so half the team lived in Limerick and half the team lived in Cork. Okay, and it's about an hour, 20 minutes drive in between. And then you train on your own in Limerick, they train on their own, you've got your own physio, they've got their own physio, but it's one team, they all play for Munster, and then like only twice a week you train together. So I arrived there first week, and I also lived in Limerick, and Ronan O'Gara lived in Cork. So I was meant to be on the bench for the first game, and then Keith Earls got injured or whatever, and I had to start. So now I'm starting at 12, and Ronan O'Gara's at 10. So obviously I knew him from before, playing against each other. We had the Lions series that year as well, and whatever. About 10 minutes into the game, I'm like, Rog, You have to speak slower. Because I couldn't understand the thing you were saying, which is go. And I didn't have a clue.
You tell people you can't change where you were born. But what happens to you when Ireland are playing the Springboks? We've got an upcoming test series. How conflicted do you feel?
Well, I'll tell you, the first test we were playing. We came over 2016. We played in Cape Town, and you're standing there doing the anthems. But that is probably the biggest split I've ever felt, because I'm South African. I'm back here, and I was born here, and I wanted to play for Springboks when I was younger. Obviously, got the opportunity, but that's one thing I've always said is I'll never, I'll have to make a decision. So I played for Ireland, but it was nice. I could stand there and then still sing the South African. I didn't sing it out loud, but I could still sing the South African anthem in my area, and I liked it. It's there is a bit of a split, but then when the game starts, but if you're not really, we all know in the first 2 seconds you're thinking about an anthem or what where you want to be that day, and get wood in your face quickly, and then you have to be a man. So that was straight out the door straight away. But the boys coming here, I'm excited to see all the guys and watch them play, and we'll probably get back to the game later on. But I'm excited for this test series. And
you mentioned 2016. That was at Newland. I was there. I remember I think the only game in 120 years the Irish have won on South African soil.
That's correct.
And you were in that game. You were instrumental in being sent off.
Yeah, there's one guy that does not remember that game. That's Lambie.
Yeah. But like the interesting thing about that is that you only hurt the English guys in that Springbok team. That's one thing. The other thing is that Ireland won that game with 14 men, and then lost the rest of the series with 15.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
That's a loaded one. About what? Losing all the next 2 games. Which part? It's like a docu series there somewhere.
You knocked Catalan.
Yeah. That was tough. I was Cape Town is an interesting place when you're on the other team and you're running off, and you've got the Cape Townians booing you for the next 40 minutes. So it was tough, and I felt because me and Pat played together, S120, all schools, all the years. So it was tough to see that, but. I was also proud of the boys to win with 14 men for the first time in 120 years, if that's the number. But then we made we made the mistake to underestimate Johannesburg and the level above sea level. We got there, we were up the altitude. I always say my wife always laughs, and I always use a different word like the world atmosphere or something like that. But it doesn't make sense.
No, that's 100% correct.
Yeah, I get it.
That's 100% correct.
But so we went there. We were leading 19 there at half time, and I remember everyone was excited. And then the longer clapped. That it happens. We went up to the change room. Johannesburg, Ellis Park. You walk up those steps. I used
the changing room's 100 meters above.
Exactly. So when you come down, you're in an air rush. You feel like you've used something. So I remember with the Bulls, back then I used to hate going up there. We should have stayed in the pitch, but came out and we lost that game. Yes, Rowan Combrink scored 2-3 unbelievable tries. He bumped off everyone. We lost, I think, 36-19.
The Damien Allender scored.
Damien scored. Yes, Damien scored a try. He ran a good line. Conor Murray, that line, yeah.
Tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's a big day.
Yeah.
Prediction. Grudge match,
yeah.
Right. What did they beat us in the pool game at the World Cup? What was the score?
9-6.
Yeah, it was close. 13-9 or something like that.
You say 13-9, but I think you meant
but 13-8 or whatever.
Yeah,
1 score difference.
Well, 1 point that can actually make a difference, can't it?
It can. It can. You're 100% right with that.
And was that the team talk in Chasing the Sun, where Rassie was a little bit upset?
I think he's upset, and most of it was upset. Most of it.
Yeah. I think the thing about the Irish games is they're the Springboks bogey team. They have been for a while. We've got a great record against them, in South Africa. But like whenever we play them, like the World Cup game, like every time we play them in Dublin, we tend to come up short, and it's short by small margins. So I think Rassie in that Chasing the Sun documentary, I think I mean, the whole...
Wasn't that the one where it was like, Sia, you think you're the biggest thing in South Africa?
Entitlement was the...
South Africa is the biggest thing in South Africa.
That's it.
I heard my son say that to my daughter in the middle of his game.
Everybody race that.
Bunny Rugby 2 nights ago. He's watched the whole Chasing the Sun.
He's commenting from the side.
And he's in the bathroom telling her, Sophie, you promised you wouldn't give away a f***ing penalty. And then he started quoting Peter Smith. He was like, I'm on a f***ing bong, Sophie. Did the Irish feel like they're still the best in the world? Let's talk to the Irish fans for a moment here. Did they still think that? After the World Cup?
Look, I think if the World Cup is the World Cup, so the Springboks are obviously, that is the pinnacle.
We feel like we're a Rob standard, another standard.
But if you then look at the rankings, they're like your top three. So surely you would, if you're in that, for me personally, I'm not talking about but any of the both teams. I want to be controversial. But,
Yes.
but if you look,
Counting your words.
no, but if you look at it, if you're top three for 6 or 7 years running, surely you're seen as one of the best, and you're the best. If you're floating there, that's just how it works. You want to win. You have a high performance center that works. You have teams that work. You have clubs that play in the semis and the final of both competitions. Surely, if you don't think you're the best, then
1 second.
and so if you don't think you're the best, then surely that mentality is going to make it that you don't think that you're going to start dropping in your standards. So, and being there for a good few years playing is that's the thing they've planned for and worked for, to be in the top three and to be the best. So, kudos, bro. It's a tough place to be number one or top three for that long. So.
You worked with Jacques and Rassie at Munster back in the day. Remind us, what is the soul of Ireland? What I forget what they said. What is the current soul of the Irish team?
The soul of that team is, I think, the one word is just hard work. There's players that work hard, extremely hard, to get into a culture or and to understand the game plan and to work on skills. When I was there, and I didn't have a lot of skill. They were making jokes about me not passing not even the salt. I didn't pass the ball. I took the ball, ran hard as I could. I remember we played against him in the semi-final.
They have a Heyneke Cup.
Yes, it was commentary. Where did we play commentary?
Yeah.
I got the ball, and I was like, "Okay, this is my day, and I'm gonna run over Schalk Burger." Yes, I'm going for it. He smashed me, but still, that was my goal. But what happened in the last few years with Ireland and all the teams, the players work hard to learn a skill, to start offloading, and to learn how to expect expensive game, because they do. They play a wide game, they get the ball free, and they don't really make a lot of, they don't get to a point where they make a lot of breakdowns to slow down the game. So looking at two different teams, I know Rassie's working with Munster, I know his game plan. He plays a different game. He gives them the ball, let them make a mistake. So it falls into each other. So the test tomorrow is going to be, I don't know who arranges these things. Why only 2 tests?
Yeah.
Make it 3.
I must say, though, that was my, again, and this was now, I think, before, I think since we retired, rugby in South Africa has become more professional. I think the players have taken on a lot more responsibility. But the big difference for me back then was that the majority of guys in Ireland, when I was at Munster, they really put in a lot of effort to understand the game, to ask questions about, if the coach says we're going to do X, Y, or Z, then why are we doing it? Explain to me the reasoning behind it. And because they have a limited amount of professional players, you really need to be at your best. So when you say hard work, they do work hard, but there's also the understanding of it, where in South Africa, I think we're very much spoon-fed. We've got such great talent and also good coaching, but you almost overcoach, and the players are so used to, that's what I kind of remember back then when we were still in the mix. The players are so used to being given the game plan, being given what to do, that you don't actually put the time in. And then when the issues come, when you face issues on the field in terms of your game plan, you don't have the capability to actually problem solve. So that was a big thing that I noticed the difference between the two, and I think South Africa is now totally different.
Okay, I mean, why I'm so fascinated when we play each other is the difference in styles.
Yeah.
Like it's our defense and how we defend to get the ball back and put you under pressure with this massive line speed we've got in our kicking game against the best attacking team in the world. And the way in the style they play, it's much harder to attack the way they do and outwork defense on attack than it is to do what the Spokes do. You know, we've got our own challenges, but like we've got the mechanical stuff we're really good at. You know, they're good at the subtlety in attacking. I think CJ goes light on himself. They couldn't believe that one bloke tucked the ball on his jumper and ran at the wall. You know, they're looking for a different out. They're looking for the link-up player.
Yeah.
They got CJ and they put his head down and he ran, and it was hard to put away. There's no way to tackle him. It's like tackling this wine barrel.
That's why I should have been a hooker.
So for me, that's the outstanding feature. Yes, I've got a lot of respect for the Irish in the way the provincial system works. Best run union in the world. Your question was, are they the best team in the world? And according to the rankings, no. Unfortunately for them, World Cups is a hard thing, and they've got one thing in common with the Boks, that they've never lost a semi-final.
Sure. Where's the mic? Where's the mic?
Yeah.
Will it off? Where there?
You mentioned that's why you should have been a hooker. Are you and Heyneke Meyer back on good terms?
I haven't seen him in a long while. I see he's coming back. He wants to come back to South Africa, so I'll probably see him somewhere. But we had a few conversations in the chat here and there, but not a brandy yet.
So of course, it's the Bulls. He famously said you were too short to be an international loose forward, and would you mind actually just standing up next to Schalk, just for perspectives? Can we see? People might not realize
Back to back.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not that true.
it's not that much of a difference.
That's that.
You see, but I got smarter, so I started wearing shoes.
That's all. That's all. Now, at that point, you thought, this is what, 2011, 2010?
Yeah, 2010, yeah.
You said you thought your options were, okay, either I'm going to switch to hooker or leave the country. And nowadays, thanks to OnlyFans, people don't have to make that to hooker or promote each other.
They can do both.
Yeah, I can do both.
Yeah.
What's that?
You haven't had a brandy with him yet.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of telling him to pog my horn? I mean, how much Gaelic
I do.
have
I
you
do.
picked up? Pog my horn.
Kiss my ass.
Ah.
Yes, I used to love that word because I knew when that comes out, there's going to be a fight, training or a game.
Pog my horn.
Yeah.
Did you pick up any other Gaelic one? Even?
Not a lot. No, because it was difficult. Normally, when the guys started speaking Gaelic, I couldn't understand the English, and then the Gaelic was the next levels.
And tell us about the Afrikaans-Irish connection, because obviously when you moved there, you couldn't understand Irish, let alone English. But there are a couple of Irish words that are the same in Afrikaans, like, for example, but...
Schalk's reading there. I saw John's reading. I can see him laughing. I know it's coming.
But did you feel like, because one thing that obviously your people have in common with the Irish is the dislike of England, and I actually was researching this. Do you know there were Irish regiments that came here in the Boer War and switched sides
No ways.
to fight
Yes.
for the Boers?
Oh, really?
I feel like your going there was a bit of a thank you.
Yes, so I've never thought about that, but if you put it that way, I'll take it for sure. I remember my granddad. He was an old school guy. I said to him, I'm going to play rugby in Europe, and he goes,
Bank.
huh?
I'm going to rob a bank.
And he said,
Solank het nie Engeland is.
so, but I remember my dad came to visit in 2017. He came to watch a few tests, and there's on St. Stephen's Green, there's a memorial of the Boer War, and there's a few South African names on there. My dad said everything feels perfect for him now, finally, after 5 years.
Understand it.
Yeah.
Ek het hulle vergewe.
As long as it's not England. Well, that doesn't mean tomorrow's test is going to be any less competitive. Lace is still chasing down opinion from the rugby intelligentsia. So let's check in with our fans in the stands.
What's your prediction for the first match of the Island Series next weekend?
I think it'll be close. I think Ireland will take it. They must keep it equal for the whole game, and in the last few minutes, just Andre Pollard. I'm Andre Pollard with one. It's Peter Pollard. Yeah. See, Pollard. Yeah. At least. But yeah, I think box of 10 at least.
I think it's gonna definitely be tight. Definitely tight. Definitely 5-point difference, but the Boks gonna put it through 100%.
Ireland wins 17-3.
That's a very big margin. Disrespecting the Springboks.
No, because they didn't score a try in the last World Cup, so I don't think they're going to score again.
Obviously, the Boks are going to thrash the Ireland. They have to. There's no other way.
Who do you think's going to stand out for us come the Springbok?
Well, I think fly-off would be interesting who they're going to pick. And then, obviously, the loose trio, whether they're going to play Evan Lewis or Kwagga Smith at 8 with Kulisi being in the mix again. So, personally, I would start with Ruiz and then bring Kwagga on later. Best impact player in the world. So, looking forward to that. Yeah.
Who's the most exciting youngster for you in the Springbok setup?
Jeez. I think watching the game last week, I think the guy's named Sasha, the flyer that did the kick. I think he's quite exciting. The scrum half that came on, Grant Williams. He's got a lot of pace and speed. But, we've got a lot of depth. I think the old boys are pulling it through as well, right? Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, well, there are a couple coming through, so I'll definitely lean towards the forwards. I'm glad Evan Villiers is in the back, he's one of the more up-and-comings that I do like.
What do you think of Villiers?
Yeah, good guy. Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed him. I think he brings a lot of composure. Hope to stick around a bit. I don't think he's got many more years, but
hopefully he gets to 100 back.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think of not having Johnny Sexton, Hugo Keenan?
Johnny Sexton's boots will be filled soon enough. Hugo Keenan might be a bit of a hit with the World Cup, but we have people who can replace him, so we have spot them.
That was Fans in the Stands. Back to you and the boys, Nick.
Did you get into a lot of fights out there, or only when you were playing for the old boys against Oakland Nikwa?
Landbouw. Yeah. No, I did my AC joint last year in a game. Never got injured. Yeah, nog nooit beseer. Great, everything is perfect. Played my career klaar. Said to my wife, look, I'm going to play a old boys game. So the first one was here at Landbouw. Nothing went wrong. Perfect. Second one, she said, I'm not going to go to Riversdale because I saw what happened here. There's a lot of brandy and coke and it looks like it was a rough. Anyway, got to the pitch. Moerse professional, stretch a bit, bietjie branderantjies and so. 5 minutes. Pah! AC joint, shoulder dislocation underneath my elbow. Off. He's not going to right like that. No, go tackle me.
No, so yeah, explain the thinking process to go play in a game like that.
I remember I asked him for a video to say, good luck for the boys. He said in the video, why would you want to do this? Yeah. But the first year was nice. So the second year I thought, yeah, I'm going to play half an hour. It's quite nice. My brother is playing as well, so it was a bit of a family thing.
Okay, well,
and there was a guy used to farm. His dad used to farm next to us. Bart Nel was his name, and he moved from Oakdale to Landbouw. So that's the same suits like Munster to Leinster. Dit word nie gedoen nie, but he did it anyway. So
his name.
Yeah, and he kicked off. They kicked off. And yes, I remember going up, and as I came down, I saw him, and I went, I'm going to run. Stop. There's no rhinos, let's go. Yeah. And I just sat down. I almost started crying. I went, my arms off. My mom came there with a bottle of water. I was like, Ma, nie nou nie. And I walked off, everyone was chirping me. So it's just tough. And I nie nou nie.
That's my biggest fear. Like, I know I'll never do it. But imagine pitching up for a rugby game now and doing a shoulder or a knee. I still get it right.
How do you win?
I'm like, no, like a million times. I said, listen, I know I'm good as a water boy. I know I'm very good in the pub. You're not getting me on the rugby field.
Explain what win looks like in a situation like that.
Yeah,
okay? Because you can't. Yeah. because everybody wants to target you. They want to tackle you. They want to be the guy, because that guy's a hero now.
Machine.
Yeah.
Oh, Bart is
now.
he's captain of the.
Yeah. He's now the most famous Bart, not the Simpsons.
8th of August.
The problem with Bart's going again next year to make the same tackle, and he's coming up.
Yeah, so you don't win. You don't win.
How long did you have to pretend to like Guinness for before you started liking Guinness?
The beginning was interesting. As Guinness is acquired taste, so I like to drink, but I only drink 2. That's it. Then I switch to brandewyn if there is. Otherwise, I take my whiskey. But
You call it the black label leprechaun.
but I actually do like it now. But you don't find it yet. They're not the same taste anyway. So
Yeah. You retired from international rugby in
2021.
because of
COVID. Because of COVID.
Dean Elgok.
Because of COVID.
And Dean Elgok. Apparently you were both at a braai in the Kruger Park,
Yes, so
and you both fell in the fire. Is this?
yeah, it sounds. Yeah, I remember Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story, yeah. With his, and
Yes.
but were you guys at the same?
I can't remember that. That must have been that same night.
The
Yeah.
problem with braaiing with Europeans, they don't know how to light a fire. So
Now we had a good. I think we had 2 games left. We had 2 weeks open, and we went for a few drinks. It was just after everything opened up again with COVID, so you can spend time with people more than 10 in a group. So we went for a few drinks, and we were at someone's house, at John Klein's house. He just bought a new house. He was gonna renovate it and stuff, so it was quite nice. And we made a fire with very, very wet wood that was cut down that same day. A tree that was randomly there, and one of the fire lighters exploded. Yeah. So it was quite traumatic.
when you were honoured, it's quite extraordinary to be adopted by the Irish in the way that you were. How did that feel? The support you got, the city of Limerick made you an honorary ambassador. They must have a special place in your heart.
Yeah, for sure. The great thing about it is, from the beginning, as I said earlier, when I was playing with the A side, I was invited to families, homes, and stuff like that. But I got pulled in very quick by everyone, and they made sure. I think it was because they didn't understand what I was trying to tell them in my English or speak when I was spoken or speaking or whatever the word is. The English is done. We're at 90% now. We have to start speaking Afrikaans, but yeah, come inside. But that's why I said to all the players coming in, you have to adopt the Irish traditions, and you have to be involved, and you have to make time for people. And you have to. I enjoyed Limerick. Limerick is nice. Limerick always get a lot of flack because years ago it was called Stab City.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved Limerick. I liked the people. There was a lot of changes happening in the city. So, and they still do to this day. They've got a very close place in my heart. And I enjoy the Irish culture. For me, it is great. It's you can go into any pub and you will never drink a Guinness by yourself.
I must give credit to CJ as well. So Paul O'Connell was still captain, obviously, during that time, and he used to say back then, CJ really took on the whole Munster, the history and the tradition, and being a Munster man, and then eventually Ireland as well. And it was a great, when guys from overseas or international players came to join Munster, it was a great link between the two, to show that I'm part of it, and I really buy into what the club is about, but also understanding where the others come from, and then bringing them closer. So
You write that down on my CV.
I will.
Did you learn any limericks while you were in?
Yes.
This is a limerick for you, CJ Stander. To be a good forward that's loose, you need to be built like a caboose. Move fast like lightning, be very, very frightening, and make your opponent look like a...
Good. This one, CJ.
Predictions for tomorrow.
That's why I'm pissed off. I think why not 3 tests? Now there's 2. So it's going to be 1-1, I think. The third one would have been the decider because the Irish are going to win Durban for sure. The altitude worries me a little bit. We've seen with all the teams travelling here that they do struggle in that first half. And if you don't have the right game plan, playing in that altitude, you're in trouble. So tomorrow's test, I believe the Boks. But the altitude is something that, yes, that clubs along. It makes it tough. On the game plan that you're going to have to take there, you can't really change your game plan too much because you want to prepare, because you don't have a lot of time to prepare for these 2 tests.
I think, yeah, it's like an intriguing series. Again, just taking the history and the whole narrative going into this series. I think it can easily be 2-0 either way. South Africa could easily lose 2-0, and Ireland could easily lose 2-0.
Yeah.
I think tomorrow's test match would be critical to it, though, and I think we have the best chance of winning tomorrow. The Loftus factor, the just the emotion that'll be in it. So I'm predicting a Boks win for tomorrow by about 7.2.
Okay, I've got a gut for this. It's going to be like that much.
3, 2, 1.
2, 1, 3, 1, whatever. 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying it because excuse me, I feel the same, but then you feel like that, and then it's actually
These teams are so closely matched, but the contrast in the way we play, the style difference is what separates. Like this compared to when we play sides who play similar. So like it's our defense versus their attack, and then for their game managers, to CJ's point, not to overplay. If they overwork their back or forwards while playing too much rugby from too deep Ireland, they're going to run out of puff in the second half or by the end of the first half.
Any final thoughts, guys?
I'm looking forward to it. This is being built up great both sides. This is going to be, the first test is going to be net boerse lekker. We haven't seen good test rugby now since the World Cup.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking forward for 2 great teams going at each other with really nothing to lose.
What a pleasure having you back.
Thanks, man.
South African legend, CJ Seamus Standard. Guys, that's it. That's all for season 2, episode 1. We're back. Great to be back, guys. Schalk, welcome to your first episode of Banter with the Boys.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us next time on Banter with the Boys for a post-mortem on Ireland's devastating hammering against the Springboks. To be sure.